welcome back, everybody, for some members first content. This is my Wednesday watch list. This is the list of new books coming out this upcoming New Comic Book Wednesday, which is May 31st, 2023. So, just some things I'm going to be keeping an eye on, some things I've ordered, thinking about ordering. We'll take a look at when I hit my shop on Wednesday. Just books, like I said, I want to keep an eye on as far as price goes, some things to read, some covers that I like. There's some homages, there's some later printings, just a kind of a quick rundown of things that I think are interesting this upcoming week in the comic book stores. So hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel, and consider joining our memberships. And you can get this a day earlier than everybody else, because members will get this on Sunday, and then everybody else probably get this on Monday afternoon to kind of prep you for this new comic book week. And with that all said, all you got to do is hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be right back with the rundown of this week's books. All right, so what do we got to look forward to this Wednesday? I guess the one we gotta talk about is something that's kind of been spoiled. I think a lot of people have forgotten that this is actually coming out this week, and that is Amazing Spider-Man 26. Again, multitude of covers. There's going to be a spoiler cover that's going to spoil what happens on the inside, but I'm pretty sure it's already been spoiled for most of you. If it hasn't been spoiled, please watch this video again later. But otherwise, I'm sure you've seen it over the last 2 weeks because everybody's been talking about it. But Ms. Marvel dies inside this. So I gave you fair warning. If you didn't heed my warning, well, that's on you. But with that all said, we got to imagine this is a Gary Frank cover, even though we don't know, or I don't know what the cover art is as of yet. I looked around, couldn't find it yet. But it'll probably be released in the next couple of days. But as I'm filming this, Saturday night, I don't have the access to any of the images. So I don't know what the cover looks like yet. I just know it's a spoiler cover. Last time out when it was Spider-Boy, we all know what happened there. I don't expect the same thing to happen here with the death of Ms. Marvel. I feel like this is divisive already, and it hasn't even happened. Like, we haven't even read the story yet. It comes out this Wednesday. But I think a lot of fans just aren't into it or are indifferent, which is in a lot of ways worse. And I don't think it's anything that anybody really thinks is going to stick anyway. So, eh. We'll see what happens, though. So keep an eye on it this Wednesday to see what this spoiler cover is going to be and what it does on the aftermarket. Again, plenty of other covers apart from this. Nothing that really features Ms. Marvel. They're all just kind of Spidey. MJ here or there. Couple of store exclusives as well. So any of the incentives are going to be very plentiful. So we'll see. This, if anything comes of anything, it's probably going to be this cover because of its spoilery nature. But again, I don't expect Spider-Boy. That's just my gut feeling, but we'll see what happens. Will this hit $20 on release day? Maybe. I wouldn't be totally surprised if we start seeing that happen, but I don't expect it to last long, nor do I expect it to really rise beyond that. But hey, Wednesday Warrior at your best, right? So see what happens. That said, let's get into the rest of the books following that one. And we're going to start off with the homage covers or homage covers. And there are a couple good ones. One of them is even an incentive that I'm not going to talk about in this section. We're going to save it for the incentive area. But here are a couple interesting ones that caught my eye when I was going through the list of books this week. Starting off with Venom Lethal Protector. I think this is what, issue 2 or 3? Anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll see this cover. It's pretty awesome. Nick Fury Agent of Shield cover. I like it. I think it's a pretty good, pretty fun homage. It's one we've seen before, but we don't see it a lot. So I do like that. And I do appreciate the After Steranko down below. So I like it when homages are noted by the artist on the cover. I think that is a nice touch, and I'm glad that it's still done every now and then. That said, there's one. Again, this is basically cover price. This is nothing that I could see that's really shooting up or anything like that on the market just yet. But, if it catches your eye, consider getting it. And this is one of those ones. I'm going to eyeball it. If I like it in my hand, I might get it. But I did not pre-order this one. Just like this next one. This is Image Book Torrent. I don't really know a lot about this title. I haven't been reading this. If it's good, let me know. I didn't do it this week because there wasn't anything that I considered on my reading list, but I'm going to start doing a reading section for this show as well. So if you think this is something I should be checking out, mention again down below in the comments, and I'll give it a look-see. But this caught my eye because I do like a good homage, especially when it's not to one of the big books we've seen all the time. No more AF-15 Spider-Man 1s, Spider-Man 300s, FF1s, things like that. This is kind of fun to do a Daredevil, what is that, 249? The Wolverine versus Daredevil cover. I think that's kind of a fun one to do. I like when they do things like this. So, kind of caught my eye. I'll consider it, but you let me know if this title is worth reading. One more. This is a movie poster homage. I'm also a fan of that when they do movie posters, album covers, etc. But this Vault book, Door to Door, Night by Night, I thought it looked familiar, and I had to kind of look at it a few seconds. Like, is this Christine? And then, yep, I found the right Christine poster that I think it matches up with. So this looks like it's a Christine homage. Because a lot of times we'll see those homages, and then even in all the diamond description, the preview descriptions, they don't tell you what it's from, and you got to figure it out on your own. So sometimes it could be a pain in the butt, but sometimes it also can be fun. I didn't mind it so much with this because I was pretty sure I knew what it was, and I just needed to confirm it by doing a quick little Google search, and then running through you got to get past all the VHS covers and DVD covers because a lot of that art is similar, but it's not the same. So it took me a little while to find one of the OG posters. But there you go, kind of fun, right? That said, we're not going to get to the covers yet. We're going to go to the later printings first. And I think this week we're back to all second prints. I don't think there's any third prints like Image was giving us last week where we got a bunch of thirds. I think it's all second prints this week. And no incentives, but I'll qualify that because I'm not sure about one. We'll get to that. First up, Marvel side of things, we got Warlock Rebirth #2 and Ron Lim cover. I think this is interior art that they pulled out for this second print. So yeah, it's kind of fun, kind of cool. Throwback to me of the old Infinity Gauntlet days. That's what this reminds me of because well, he was the artist back then. Well, no, it was him and George Perez, but like I was reading Surfer at the time, so Surfer, Infinity Gauntlet, the whole thing kind of blends together, melts together, and it was all Starlin all day. That said, next book is a Boom book. Yes, Boom, The Expanse. I still gotta finish that show. It was a good show. I was watching it when it was on Sci-Fi. It was on Sci-Fi, right? And then it moved over to Amazon and continued there. But I didn't watch it once it started up over on Amazon. I got to go back and watch those because I haven't read the book, so I don't really know the story completely. All I know is I was liking the show, and I'm pretty sure I would like to continue it. I like that kind of sci-fi stuff. So interested in this book as well. The Expanse Dragon Tooth, #1 of 12. I guess it sold well enough to get a second print because here we have one, second print for this comic series. And now we go back to Image. And I know we've talked about it before, but Image is having a lot of later printings these days for a lot of issues, not just #1s, like as you would expect. And I think it goes back to how they're publishing. They're not overprinting. They're printing pretty close to order and then seeing how things do. And then with the reorders, deciding to go back to print, which is probably how it should be done. And so kudos to them for doing that. But here we go. Philadelphia #30. We got a second print for that issue. So this is an issue 30 that's getting a second print. I'm not reading Philadelphia, so again, don't know if there's something major that's going on in this book, in particular why this one drew a second print, but there it is. We're also getting Local Man, which I think has been getting second printings for all these early issues. This is only issue 3, so they're getting another second print here for issue #3. World Tree. I know a lot of people were chasing this, talking about this book. It was recalled for the cover of that one because of the printing errors, etc. We're getting a second print here on #1. I don't really know how needed it was because I thought there was plenty of copies out there, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe it did sell out in a lot of places because there were a lot of covers, a lot of store exclusives as well. And there are a lot of store exclusives coming still on issue 2, issue 3, etc. So this is not a scarce book by any sense of the word, but we did get a second print here for #1. And there is a thank you. Some even Midtown had listed as incentive thank you. So I don't know exactly how this is going to be distributed, but there is this Peach Momoko #1 thank you edition for the second print. This is the same art being reused here in a version form on it was from the one in 75, I think, on issue 1. So this is a thank you. So I don't know if this is gonna be like a one per store thing, thank you, like Images done in the past. That's my guess, or if this is like a 1 in 25. That part I don't know. I can't confirm. If you guys know, let us all know in the comments down below if this was an incentive that was orderable, or if this is just, like I said, a thank you as Image kind of listed it as, and they're just giving it out like maybe one per store, or if there is a ratio that they are giving them out, maybe some stores will get more than one. I don't know. All I know is this one could see a little bit of interest because of the limited nature of it and the uncertainty on how you get one. So keep an eye on it. I mean, I won't be paying the the prices it would probably run anyway, but it's still worth knowing and keeping an eye on in case you can get a hold of one. Yeah, who knows, right? So don't take that cover price because again, I don't know what it will cost. I don't know if stores are going to have a price for it. They're going to set their own price. What they're going to do with it. So we'll see what happens with this book. But apparently, there will be a thank you edition for that second print for World Tree. And with that, let's get on into the covers. All right, into the covers for this week. There's quite a few, pretty solid books that kind of caught my eye. Starting with an alien book. Could it be that I've been watching a lot of aliens and predators movies because they just happen to find themselves on cable lately? I don't know, maybe, but I'm looking at these alien covers lately, and I like this one. I mean, it's easy to sell me on a solid alien cover. You give me a good backdrop with like that moon, sun, whatever it is, kind of sending that negative space kind of vibe going. It caught my eye. I like it. I'm also interested by the 20th Century Fox Studios border they're putting in on these comics now from Marvel that they're doing for the Predator books. I think the Planet of the Apes ones, the Fox properties. I think it's fun that they're adding almost like a little sub imprint of their own. I kind of like it. I'm getting used to it, at least, I should say. I'm getting used to it. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe I don't dislike it, but I'm getting used to it. That said, this is for issue 2 for this new Alien series. I don't know if this is volume 2 or 3 at this point that Marvel's had the run, but it's a later volume. It's only issue 2. Up next, we have this Avengers book, Avengers Beyond #3. It reminds me of that Granoff cover, I think, of Black Widow with the whole she was wearing the White Widow outfit. So it reminds me of that. Maybe it's the white, but it's also the positioning, like the deadly. I forget what it's called. Anyway, similar cover, reminding me of that kind of vibe. So I like it. I like it. It's got like a little bit of throwback 70s action. You got the car on fire. Almost looks a little bit like a poster. Dig it. I also like this Carnage. I think this is a Kendrick Lim Kunka. I remember I was buying his stuff early on, but then I just couldn't keep up with it. I was going to try to I'm going to collect all of his art because I can't get all the art terms, but I like Kendrick Lim. I'll try to get it. I couldn't keep up. He does a lot of work, and it's good, solid. I've been liking his run on Carnage. I think these have been some really good covers, and I like this one. I don't know. It seems familiar, almost like an homage, but I couldn't place it totally in my head. It just seems familiar, but if you know what it is, let me know. But it just seemed familiar. But again, I mean, it's not like an unfamiliar pose. You got a symbiote attacking a Spider-Man character. I mean, we've seen it, right? So it does seem familiar. But also seeming familiar is his Deadpool cover, which kind of looked a little bit like that Venom 3, the Null cover with Venom, But anyway, but we got 2 though. So we got 2 werewolves in this case, it looks like. So reminded me of it. Not saying that's what it is, but it did remind me of it. But it's Deadpool #7. So it did catch my eye, and I still kind of like it even on its own. And again, Deadpool's been on FX lately. Been kind of slowly introducing my son to it because it's still a little out of his age range, but let him see parts of it. Alex Ross, I mean, it's Alex Ross. That's all I really got to say. I mean, you got a Dormammu on Doctor Strange, pretty cool. I like it. The colors, bright, vibrant. It's just good. It's just solid. It's just good work. I mean, it's Ross, right? I mean, I know a lot of people may not like Alex Ross, but hey, it's consistent. It's consistently good in my opinion. So had to put it in there. And up next is this. I forget who did this one. I want to say it was Torrin Clark. It could be. I'm not positive. I know I should have done my research, but I did this afternoon, and now I'm filming it later at night. I'm just going off the dome, off of what I remember. But this X-23 Deadly Regenesis cover did catch my eye. So I'm not even sure the issue number. I want to say it's issue 3, but like I said, sorry, I didn't do my research properly. I'm just kind of throwing these things out there because, like I said, drew my interest. So here we are talking about it. But still a cool cover. That's all I got to say. Cool cover, catches your eye. I like it. Just like this. I still need to start reading these Ram V detectives. I've heard they're very good. We tried to really do them on the tax show. I think, but I just haven't stuck with it. But I know what I have read has been good, but I really got to go back and read all of them. I have them all. Heard it was a really good run. I just got to sit down and just start reading this stuff. So this probably could have found itself in the reader section had I been caught up, but I'm not caught up. But even without that, look at this cover. Like the detail there on Grundy's face is just awesome. It's like textured. It's almost like you could touch it. You could feel like like I say, you could feel the texture there. But still, pretty awesome cover there for Detective issue 1072. 1072. That's a lot of issues. But pretty cool cover nonetheless. All right, up next, we have DC's Pride issue. Multiple covers on this, and I actually do have a short coming that's going to show you all these covers. I don't know if you guys are still watching the shorts, but I like doing them, and they still hit every day at noon. But I will have a few for Pride Month, and some of these covers are pretty cool. This one kind of caught my eye. I mean, it looks like a magazine cover, and I think that's the point. So I thought that was pretty well done. DC Pride 2023. Also, we have this Harley Poison Ivy. I think it's Jen Bartel. It's almost like a tarot card. We'll see this cover again later because they did reuse the art for one of the incentives. But this is the regular cover version. It's much brighter with the white kind of background. And I think this is like $6.99 or something like that. So maybe much more affordable than the one we'll get to later. But a couple of these issues, like I said, pretty solid covers. I like this one. I like the art. And like I said, I like the mirror nature. I mean, it's like a card, but that's kind of the idea. It's to have that kind of mirror vibe. Not a lot of DC this week because it's like the fifth week. Fifth week is usually annual week for DC. They don't generally have a lot of new books. So even seeing some of these was surprising. I mean, this is a special, but seeing seeing that detective issue was kind of a surprise. But this makes sense because it's a special, as does this one-shot Power Girl special. Again, multiple covers here, multiple store exclusives. So the incentives, I don't even have the incentives on my list because they didn't catch my eye well enough. I mean, a couple of these regular issues were better. So the incentives just didn't interest me. And with the amount of of exclusives I've seen on the market, I don't think incentives going to be hard to find. So I'm not even really keeping an eye on those this week. I mean, I could be wrong and I could miss the boat. And all of a sudden, all the other hot lists have a Power Girl 1 in 50s or 1 in 25s, but I just don't see it. But this Art Germ does catch my eye. Granted, this is $6.99 to start. For whatever reason, I mean, I got to start getting used to it because DC can't get enough foil. I know they've been using them on a lot of the incentives, but now we're starting to get them on these other issues too because they decided to put foil on this cover here. So a foil version of this, and they're just going to charge you $2 more for it. So it's going to be $9 to get the foil version. I mean, it wasn't that long ago Boom was doing that where they were giving you the foil version of what do you call it? Not the John Wick book, the other one, Berserker. Like Berserker, you can get the regular edition or you get the foil edition, but they were the same price. They were the same price. DC's charging you $2 more. $9 for a one shot on Power Girl is a little bit ridiculous, but still could be a cool cover. I don't know how the foil is going to work. As I said, the foil is usually dull and I don't like it, so it feels like it's going to hurt this beautiful bright art that Art Sherm gave us here. I could be wrong. I'll have to see it in person to see if it actually helps or hurts, but I still don't like that extra $2 they're charging. Nor do I like it that they did it twice on this same book. Yes, this is another variant for this Power Girl book. This is the regular cover, $6.99, David Nakayama. I don't know if this is the C, D, E, or what. DC's going Marvel. Like they're just, we're going to start throwing as many covers as we can out there. As long as both of them don't go full dynamite, we'll be okay. But that said, I am not happy to see that they took this and said, you know what? Let's slap foil on this too, because a lot of white and foil doesn't seem to mix to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. We'll see. Spot foil could work, but if it's not and this is a full foil, like I said, I don't know what it looks like in person yet. But again, they're going to charge you another $2 more. So $9 for this one-shot issue just because it's got a foil cover. I don't know. But I'm interested. I do like David Nakayama's art. I do like Art Germ. I do like both of these covers on their own. I don't know if the foil is needed or necessary or even good until I see it in person. But we'll see. All right. Up next, we have the Rocketeer. Finally, getting the Rocketeer. And this is the Adam Hues cover, regular cover edition, I guess. And yeah, it's solid. It's Hues. It's classic. I know there's that Kickstarter that, I mean, I did take part in the Kickstarter. And I do actually have a special coming tomorrow in place of Chasing Ghosts. I'm going to try something a little different, a little new, because I noticed I've actually been throwing money at a lot of Kickstarters lately. Like I just, hey, I'm backing a lot of these things. Hey, maybe we should do a little show on them. Not like a weekly thing, nothing like that. Maybe once a month, every couple of months, whenever it seems appropriate, and there's a few things worth talking about. That's what I'm planning to do. So I wasn't planning to promo it in the middle of this show, but I guess here we are. just me just filming and recording by myself. So I just go off on tangents. But come Tuesday, I do have something I'm trying out called a Kickstarter Roundup, where I'm going to show you some of the old ones that I took part in, show you how some of the prices could go up. Not to say that that happens all the time. It's a very selective, it's very niche kind of collecting when you get into the Kickstarters, because you've got to really be a fan to pay some of the prices that people ask because of the limited nature of some of these things, and even the buy-ins on a lot of them, because you have to go with these higher tiers to get some of these covers. Again, we'll get into that more on Tuesday, but I got to run down on some of the books that I've done before, some of the ones that I currently pledged to, that I'm expecting books coming in soon, and ones that still have a few days left that I'm considering or have already, backed as well. So we'll talk about that. Point being, I want your guys' suggestions as well. If there's really cool stuff that you want to spread a spotlight on and you want to, bring some more eyes to, hey, I'll do what I can. The small little channel I have here, I will do what I can to kind of help spread the awareness. And that all said, enough on Kickstarters. This is the regular edition for Rocketeer. We'll see a little bit more of this in a second, because we're going to get into our incentives as well. But for right now, regular old Rocketeer is just a cover price book, and a pretty cool one, if you ask me. But I'm a little biased. I like Hues. And not surprised that that's what's going to kick off our incentives. We have the 1 in 10 for this Hues cover for Rocketeer. Now, this is only a 1 in 10, mind you, but prices are already pretty steep. Pre-sale prices, as you can see here, $55, $60, and then it was only like $20, but that was all the way back in March. So back in March, it was the best offer on $22, but April price and May price is like $55, $60. You think that's crazy? Well, on the market right now, going to this week, there's only one out there, and it wants $79, and it's got 14 watchers on it. Even if you go to Midtown, which I think was already sold out, they were asking like $50, I think, for this. Something like that. It was crazy high for a 1 in 10. Check out those big stores, any other place if you're interested. But this looks like it could be a little pricey. This looks like it could be a pricey one, even though it's only a 1 in 10. But don't let that I'm trying to figure out how to word this, but this is the 1 in 10. It's Hues. Yes, there's a fan base. There's a collectible market for Hues in and of itself. I'm a part of it. I like Hues. But that's not the hardest to find or highest incentive ratio. There is a 1 in 25, which is of the other cover. I'm sorry, I forget the artist name right off the top of my head right now, but this is the 1 in 25. So this will be significantly harder to qualify for a lot of stores, and will be even harder to find. That said, I couldn't find any pre-sale purchases for it just yet. And even with the copies that were available, this one, no bids on 2 auctions. One starting at 99 cents that had a buy it now of only $20, which is under ratio. And then another auction starting at $6. Granted, it's from the UK, with a few days left. I mean, they both got plenty of time left, but just considering you can buy that one for $20 outright, under ratio, when you consider what the 1 in 10 is going for, it makes you aware of why the 1 in 10 is selling. It tells the story. It tells the whole story right there. It's not about the Rocketeer. It's not about Dave Stevens' character of the Rocketeer. It's just about Hues. Unfortunately, that seems to be the case here. And with that, the Hues is also selling, apart from the Kickstarter book, which I kind of got on that sidetrack for, little down the rabbit hole. But IDW's online store also had a virgin version of the Kickstarter cover available. I was hoping it was still available for you guys, because it was $10 on the IDW online store. It was available late last week. I was hoping it was still available, but unfortunately, it looks like it's sold out now. But IDW always finds more. Those online stores, you keep an eye out for those online specials, and they'll come back and be like, "Hey, somehow they have more copies." So you can keep an eye out for it and hope they have more. But there was the 1 in 10, not 1 in 10, the $10 version of this Virgin already there, but it seems sold out. I did order a couple, I think on Friday, maybe. I think it was Friday. That said, we'll see what happens when they come in. But right now, those pre-selling for $70 and a best offer for both. So the Kickstarter one's in there as well. And the Kickstarter one's sold for 100 to $150 on its own. So best offer 160 for the two of them. Ain't too bad either. And there's none available right now. Not yet, but I think once people start getting these in hand, we'll see more of these on the market and see what that market might be. I got to imagine they're probably going to start high when they start hitting, but eventually it'll probably settle down maybe in the like 25, maybe $30 range, maybe even less. I don't know. Because again, I don't know how many copies there are. There's no set print run. There's probably like 1,000 copies, maybe 700 copies, 500, who knows? But we'll have to guess until there is a formal announcement, I guess. But once, like I said, people get them in hand, we'll get more of a sense of what the market could be on this one. So this is a weird one in that it was available last week to order from IDW store. When we're going to get them, I don't know. So it's not a traditional Wednesday release, but I thought it tied in with what we were talking about with the incentive. So that's why I figured I'd bring it up. All right, we're almost through. I mean, we've gone 25 minutes here. But we got another 1 in 10. IDW still has the Saturday morning adventures for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this is the continued series, coming back with another run, new series. I think this could be interesting. Granted, pre-sales, nothing so far. And asking prices, not very much. $6, $12. But what I find interesting about this series, I think that it might be under ordered a little bit because it's a continued series. I think people might have gotten over the nostalgia factor with the first run, and I don't think orders will be as high the second time around. One of those diehards will probably be down for this, which could make some of the stores who might have reached to get to those incentives, to get to the 1 in 10 incentive, they might not do it a second time and say, you know what, we only got like 6 turtle guys. Let's just order 7 or 8 of these and not get the extra 2 just to get the incentive. We'll be fine with what we got. Hey, that's the nature of business. Like, you don't want to bury yourself in product just to get incentives. Like, I get it. Or at least you don't want to do that. If you're a shop, you don't want to do that because that's a bad way to do business. That said, what I find interesting though is that they decided to also offer a 1 in 25, which is a virgin version of this cover as well. So if I'm guessing right and print runs are less than the last time, that it'll be even harder for them to qualify for these. And with that, I couldn't find any pre-sales for the 1 in 25, and the asking prices, all right, a little more interesting here. $28 with free shipping ain't terrible. That's right around ratio, and then $65. So okay, somebody's fishing for a little bit higher. We'll see what we get. With no sales, we don't know what the market is yet. We just have these asking prices. So we'll see come Wednesday. And when copies actually are out there floating around more, we'll see what happens. Get a little bit more of a sense of what this book could do. Okay, I mentioned earlier in the show, part of the homage section, that there was another homage, but we'll talk about it in the incentives. And that's this one. The Icon versus Hardware series has been doing a run of these. We got the John Stewart Green Lantern homage here, homage. I dig it. I like it. This is gonna be tough. I think could be tough. Like the 1 in 25s for this whole run have been and continue to be these throwback homage covers. But even with that, I see copies of 4 like pre-selling and pre-listing, but it was not easy to find copies of issue 3 here for this 1 in 25. So a copy sold way back in March for $62. That was it. So no more other pre-sales. So nobody else was like pre-selling this. And there was no asking prices either. No asking copies. So going to be tough. Oh, I hit the button and moved a little faster than I meant to. But point being, none up as of now over the weekend. As we get closer to Tuesday, there might be more of that Hardware Icon book getting listed. But at the time of me filming this, there weren't any. So could be tough this week to find that one. This one could be tough too, because this is one of those Pride books. And this is a 1 in 50 incentive for this Pride special. I told you, there are a lot of covers, sure, and you got the 2 versions with the foils. Oh no, the foils were on the. The foils were on the Power Girl. This is on the Pride covers, but there's still multiple covers here on the Pride covers. But they're not cheap. Like these are one-shot specials. They're a little bit expensive, so I don't think a lot of places are going to up their orders up to 50 to get this, which is probably why this might be tough to find. And this one is already pre-selling at a premium. So $61 doesn't seem like a lot considering it's a 1 in 50, but that was at the end of April. The only one I could find. But the asking prices right now, $190, $195. I think I saw another $200 one in there. And then there's one that's at $10. Our Comic Biz. Comic Biz likes to throw those auctions out there. So we won't know where that one ends for another few days, but that's at auction and it's up to $10 right now. But again, there's days left. That's not going to sell for $10. So we'll see where it ends up, and we'll see if these $200 asks get met as the week goes on. But this could be one of the hot books of the week because of the limited nature of it and the high prices. But we'll see if the market decides they want this or not. I like it, but I don't think I could pay these prices. I don't even know if I want to pay ratio because $50 is a lot. $50 is a lot of money to go and throw at a book that just came out. I don't know. Maybe call me old school. Maybe that's weird thought to have. Maybe I've not been completely desensitized by the exclusive comic run where all of a sudden we can just say, oh, yep, exclusives are all 20, $30. And Virgin versions, sure, they're all 40, 50. Sure, that's the price. When did we all decide that that was okay and that was the price? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But whatever. I still buy the ones I like. I still buy the ones I like. But that all said, we got a couple more incentives. We're going to go to World Tree. And I told you, there's quite a few exclusives here. So a lot of places are going to have these incentives. So these incentives may not be as hard to find as you might think. Like, oh, well, your shop's not going to order them. Yeah, your shop might not order, 50, 100 copies of World Tree. But there are places that will because they got their exclusives and the bigger shops, etc. So there will be copies out there. We'll see what the market wants. If there are enough people who want these incentives. Granted, this is a pretty cool cover. It's a little creepy. You got the like skulls and all that, like overlaid, ghostly kind of thing going. 1 in 25. I forget the artist here, but the pre-sale here, nothing sold yet. But asking prices right around ratio, a lot of $25 to $30 range. And yes, there's the ask up to 50, but again, I don't think it's going to be any trouble if you really want one of these. You can get one. You probably just have to pay 25, $30 until, they sit for a while and then prices might come down. But we'll see what happens. The 1 in 50 is also pretty cool. Take a look at the cover here. Kind of catches the eye. I like the color play here, the purple with the green highlight. It's a classic little contrast there. Again, no pre-sales here on the 1 in 50 either. Asking prices are fishing only right around that ratio mark and under. $40, 45, $50. Okay, so that seems pretty reasonable. And then we at last have our last book here, which is the 1 in 100 for World Tree number 2. Another homage of Image. This time, well, not Image. This is the Boom cover. Why I say Image? Because Image did this title, but Something is Killing the Children homage. We've seen this already a number of times, so this is already starting to get overdone, in my opinion. But here we go. Here we got another one. World Tree is killing the internet. Sure, it's pretty cool. It's 1 in 100, but ain't no way I'm paying 1 in 100 prices, personally. Nobody else is either at this point. With the pre-sales, I couldn't find any. And as of right now, asking prices are looking for close to $200. 185, and $205. So they're just fishing, and hey, they could sell for that. I don't know how many of these are going to be, but as I said, I know of a couple store exclusives, so I know at least a couple places are going to have a few of these 1 in 100s to sell. So they'll be out there if you really want it. But again, we've seen it before, right? Like hasn't lost its like cachet a little bit if we keep seeing the same overdone homage covers of all these indie titles homaging each other. Like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Something weird about it to me. But that said, hey, I'm still going to keep an eye on it. I'm so curious, but I'm just not throwing my hard-earned dollars at this one because it's just too much. It's too much. If this were like a regular variant cover, a B cover, C cover, all right, for fun, I might buy a copy. But ain't no way I'm paying a 1 in 100 price for this. Ain't no way. That said, that's all I got for you this week. That's all I'm keeping my eye out for. It is the 5th week of May, so not a lot of titles. We'll start it up again next week and see what we got going there. But thank you for all the support. I appreciate it. Appreciate you members, and that's why you guys get this a little bit earlier than everybody else. But I do appreciate everybody, so you guys are still going to get it early enough. I think releasing this Monday afternoon still gives you plenty of time to get prepped for your Tuesday DC books and your Wednesday new release day. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think down below, and any corrections or any other info of the stuff that I wasn't sure on, please share with the community, share with everybody else. Again, I just kind of did this on a whim. I wasn't even going to do this tonight. I was going to save this to do this on Sunday, but I had a few extra minutes. I figured I'd sit down and get it done. But with that all said, thanks for stopping by and checking this out, and I'll see you guys later with some more content. All right, bye.